Hello. I am Keishan, your human resource. I help people see the possibilities in what they think is impossible. I am disrupting HR. I am disrupting leadership, and I am disrupting you. As promised, yesterday I talked about the Jim Collins who wrote the book Good to Great. We talked about having the right people on the bus. And most organizations subscribe, or at least people who are in that space who talk about leadership, will agree that you have to take it a step further and make sure that you have the right people on the bus in the right seat. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. The right seat is the seat that you interview for and make sure that you get on the right bus. So, when it comes to interviewing, in addition to the organization interviewing you, you should be interviewing that organization. You may say, well, no, I'm not. Well, yeah, you are. And reason being is because you want to make sure that it is a good fit for you as well. So, how do you go about doing that? Well, you have to ask yourself questions. What types of questions you may ask? The types of questions that you need to ask depend on you, the individual. Um, So, say for example, if you are the type of person, and I'll just use me for example. If I were to interview for a position, what would be important to me are the following: flexibility, pay, of course, because most people want to know what pay looks like. But then also, people want to know maybe about healthcare benefits or retirement packages. Um, or how fast can I get to a leadership role? Those may be some questions that may, or some items that may be important to you. So then the questions that you pose should match your core values. They should match your principles. You should want to know what it looks like in the organization. So many organizations who are not who are not whose HR department has not been able to create a sound recruitment and retention strategy or plan may ask your general questions about what are your skills, what are your abilities. They ask very general questions. However, in order to get to the crux of the fitability, if you will, for an organization, they should make sure that they give you a complete picture. So here's the scenario that I'll give. I remember a long time ago when my first real job out of college, I remember getting an email and it talked about a utopia, an organization where you interview and they're telling you that it is heaven. It is heaven to work at this organization. And that's exactly what you believe. So you go in with your eyes wide open, expecting heaven. However, as you begin to go through the gates, you realize instead of entering the pearly gates, you've entered the gates of a graveyard, meaning that what they described as heaven actually was not. It was a drab, gloomy, dreary place where there was no communication. People walked like robots and there was no human interaction. And you're the type of person like me who likes to be engaged. So, as I was saying, you need to make sure that you're interviewing that organization as well as them interviewing you. What's important to you needs to be a question that you can formulate to pose when they say, what questions do you have for us? So you ask those questions that relate to what you would be looking for. And if leadership is important, ask about the leadership. What's your leadership style? How can I best communicate with you? Those are some types of questions that you may want to ask. And to prevent from going into an organization that was described as heaven and actually was a graveyard, or hell, if you will, if all else fails, if it does not feel right, it ain't right. Don't force it. Don't try to make it work, no matter how much money they're paying you, because you could be literally getting into an organization that pays you enough to keep you, but the environment is so toxic. I just got off of a business call with a collaborator, and we talked about that, and she shared how she had been in her organization for 17 plus years, and she had reached a director status and had 17 people or maybe 15 people reporting to her in a role that paid well, but it was a toxic environment. She and I sort of, I guess, commiserated a little bit in saying that they gave me these awards, but they tore me down. Who wants to work for an organization that appears to be one way when in actuality they're not? It's that innate, what's on the inside out. There's a book, I believe Dr. Sharon Ham, uh, Hartman Ham, I believe that's her name, wrote, and it talks about being authentic and knowing who you are from the inside out. Because in essence, if you know who you are, you know what your values are, you know what your personal mission statement is, that should be the guiding force in you getting into an organization that is a good fit for you and a good fit for the organization, so that it's a win-win. But if all else fails, go with the gut check. That is all that I have to share. My name is Keishan. I am your human resource. I help people see the possibilities in what they think is impossible. I am disrupting HR. I am disrupting leadership. And I hope that this message disrupted you. Make sure that you like, subscribe, get notifications, and share this with somebody who may be on a teeter-totter trying to figure out, do I pursue this? Do I not? How do I get beyond this? Maybe this will just be the impetus and the initiator to igniter to get them going in the right direction. So again, that's all I have for you. Until next time, take care. God bless.